Hey y'all. So I'm finally putting out a new tutorial. Full disclosure, I suffer really, really bad depression and anxiety and just wasn't doing well the last 3 months. The depression got really bad and I'm thankful to say that it's been about 3 weeks of me feeling good, so I think I'm in a better headspace, and I had to make a tutorial since I'm feeling better. So it's another spider tutorial. This would be my third, and you might be asking, how can there be the need for 3 spider tutorials from one creator? But I'll tell you why. Because this one has a crystal butt. Not a bead butt, a crystal butt. Where's my camera? There we go. So this one has got a bead for the head and a crystal for the butt. Shoot cute. And it's just a little soft pink one. I don't do soft, normally I do like bold colors and stuff. So this is what we are going to make. Pretty, pretty. All right, so crystal butt spider tutorial starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's start at the beginning. I'm wearing gloves because I have eczema, and one of my eczema things is my skin peels on my hands, and I don't know, it just looks kind of weird, so I figured gloves would be better. Gloves are also nice when you're working with wire because they've got a little more grip and there's a little bit of protection on your fingers. So, I think if you have a hard time gripping it, or you've cut yourself on the wire or poked yourself, maybe consider gloves. I'll also do another tutorial on self-adhesive bandage and how you can put that around your fingers for protection as well. But for today, we're just doing gloves. All right, so this tutorial is going to be for a spider with a crystal butt. This is a 20 millimeter crystal. This one's crystal clear. Sometimes I use AB coated, sometimes I use colored ones. And then this is like a 10 or 12 millimeter, just pretty shiny, sparkly bead. So this is gonna be the head, this is gonna be the butt, and it's gonna be cute. All right, let's see if I can make this not float away from me. Whatevs. All right, there we go. Clear Gorilla Glue, make sure it's clear. I have definitely put glue that is not as clear on things, and then you've got to like hide it. So clear Gorilla Glue. To hang, I'm going to use 4 millimeter chain. I usually do 12 inches or a foot for all my hanging sun catchers and spiders. I like 4 millimeter because you can get any size jump ring in. I usually use 6, 8, and 10 gauge jump rings, so a 10 will fit in here. Whereas if you're using like a 3 millimeter chain, it's dainty and prettier, but A, I worry it's not gonna be strong enough to hold up to like whatever people who buy my spiders decide to do with them. And B, you can't fit any size jump ring in, so then you're limited, And then Anezus jewelry wire, it's my favorite. It's on Amazon. I'm not like huge on wanting to be like rah Amazon, but it's there, it's easy. I can order more and get it in quick, so that's what we do. 20 gauge at 5 inches, this is the body. 22 gauge, 10 inches, 4 wires, and these are gonna be the legs. So 4 10-inch 22 gauge wires, 1 5-inch 20 gauge wire. And they're both probably going to be a little more than we need, but I do make pretty big spiders. So if you're looking at this my voice just stopped coming out of my mouth for a moment. That's weird. Anyway, it's live. What are we talking about? I don't even remember. It does look like a lot of wire, but it's very likely that we will use almost all of it. And nothing's worse than having a really pretty bead pattern going on your spider and realizing that your legs aren't going to be long enough to do it the way you want to do it. So I encourage you to use a little more wire than you think until you get down a rhythm and can kind of do the same thing every time. Not that I actually even like to do that. I love to keep it different. on everyone. I try to never make the same thing twice, even for tutorials, which makes it really fun because sometimes I'm doing things for the first time on the video. So you'll watch me struggle just as you might. So this is a manual looper. I will show you how to use it when the time comes. These are my two pliers, xuron. These two have the hold on. Whoop. These two have the regular tip. I also have one with a fine tip. It has its purposes as well, but we probably won't use it today. I love xuron. Anytime I update my tools, it'll be with xuron. It's not the most expensive, but it works really, really well. And I really like them. And then these are mega wire cutters. I've had the dainty jewelry ones and they just don't cut as well. So big old daddies for cutting the wire. I think that is everything. So let's get started. All right, so I am gonna take these 4 leg wires and put them aside. Let's start with the body. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the wire, the 20 gauge wire, and put it through the crystal. So it's just hanging on the crystal. Then we're gonna fold it in half, as close to perfectly in half as possible. So now it's hanging almost like an ornament. Hopefully that visually makes sense. The black gloves also are nice for making this look better. So, hey, look at that, fun. Okay, so now it's hanging. Okay, so you've got it looped through like this. Now, take both sides and cross them over. So the front goes to the back goes to the front. Then put your index finger right where that is, right where that come together is, and twist and twist and twist and twist until that tip is a little more secure on there. Then with the other end, so you see how much like it's staying on, it's not looking raggedy and unkempt. I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't made a tutorial in a while, so forgive me. It's gonna be a goofy one. Okay, so I got this. I got my little twist on the end. I'm still shaking. I'll always shake. That's just part of my fun. The other end of the wire, we're gonna take and put both ends through the bead. So it looks like 2 wires, but it's just because we folded it in half. So now that's together. So now what we're gonna do is close the end. So I'm gonna twist the wire together. You don't have to do this. You could just do a double loop. I just think it looks a little bit better. Ow. So that's a little long. Let's cut off some excess. So now we've got the spiral tip and we're going to set it across the top of our manual looper. And so you can see it starts to make a little loop. And then just go around until you're pretty tight. And I open and close and smash all the way around. So now we've got our butt and our head. I might give myself a little more. There we go. So I've got just a little bit of space in between there, and that is going to be where my legs go. And then I'll end up, y'all, just bear with me. I can't restart it every time I do something stupid or I'd never get through one of these. Okay, so there's the space. There's our little loop we made. This is the head. This is the butt. It's all good. Okay, so here's our 4 10-inch 22 gauge wires. I'm gonna find the center by folding it in half. Try to get it pretty even because these will each be your legs. And then I'm gonna pinch right where the halfway point is. Really tight there. I'm gonna keep all the wires together, put my finger, you see where that pinch line is? Put my fingers on either side of the pinch and twist, just right there in the middle. Doesn't have to be a lot. So, twist right in the center. And that's gonna keep our legs more secure. All right, so I'm still twisted in the center. I'm gonna go under here. I'm gonna find the middle. Make sure my legs are even. All those wires should be sitting at about the same end. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Front goes back, back goes front. There we go. And then pull really tight. Don't worry if the body bends a little bit. And then I'm gonna take this loop that we already created and tighten it however much more I can. That's just an extra wire sticking. So look at that. I've not even put the glue on it and it's very secure. So then undo the twists just enough that your legs know where they want to go. And if you twist it a lot, you'll have a lot of this to undo. But I just want to make sure my beads can get as close to the center as possible. So if I was still twisted coming out here like this, if that twist stayed there, then my beads would only go to that point and I'd see a lot of the wire. So I don't want that. So I'm going to untwist until I see what order they're supposed to go in. That looks about right. And there you have it. So nice clean point, my little boogle, gosh darn it. Why do I always say boogle? Maybe that's just what I'm gonna call them from now on. And then like when someone corrects me in the comments, I'll just be like, what? It's boogle. I'll gaslight somebody. Anyway. Okay, so we've got our legs and we've got our crystal butt and our pretty head. And this looks a little messy, so I'm just gonna smash this down. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna take a little drop of glue right under here and just add it right to that center part. Make sure a little bit of the glue is touching the bead and the crystal, so that way it holds them together as well. You want the legs to hold still in the center, but you also want them to hold to your bead and to your crystal. So I've made sure the glue was really everywhere. Everywhere. There we go. Whatever. You get it. And then we're going to let that dry for at least an hour. Typically, to be completely honest, I do like 4 to 24 hours just to make damn sure it's dry, but you do you know, see what happens. Also, don't forget to put the lid on your super glue. I've done that way too many times and wasted it. All right, we're gonna dry and I'll be back. Bye. Okay, let me put my gloves on. I'm like a doctor or something. That's right, doctor, not nurse. I just went straight to the highest level because, you know, if I don't believe in myself, who will, right? Okay, anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Per usual. Here we go. So we have glued the legs and tightened our little loop right there. So look at how good these legs, I mean, I can shake the spider by the legs and nothing happens except for the wire bends, but that shit is tight on there, secure. And part of that is because of my little loop at the end here being nice and tight. And then also because I added a dot of clear Gorilla Glue super glue. So that's what gives me this really good security. So there you go. All right, now it's time to bead. All right, and then we're gonna close it up. Where is my looper? Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna do this up close as someone requested. And we're gonna close it on the tip of the wire, turn it, open, close, turn it, open, close, turn it, open, and then just do it until it is nice. Jeez, goodness me. Just wasting beads here. I have a little container of beads that have fallen on the floor that I didn't pick up and put back where they go. And my idea is they'll all go in a bead soup project one day. I think I've mentioned that before on here. But how cute are we looking so far? Yeah, right? That worked out pretty well. I'm digging it. All right, and then now I just repeat the pattern on all the other legs. So I got the other 2 legs beaded, so I'm checking my pattern. We look very similar on all fronts. Everything's meeting at the same point. And then I looped these that way. I'm gonna loop these that way. So close it on the end, open and close to get that tip, and then turn, open, turn, open, turn as tight as you can. And then this one's a little bit long, so I'm just gonna snip the end so it's not doubled over too much. Does that really matter? No, but you know, sometimes we notice things we don't like in our own work. And then I'm just gonna close these all together. And then this will be our overall shape. So it'll be connected on these 2 ends. It'll hang like that pretty much. And then these 2 ends will come out a little bit further on the back. So I'm gonna do the other side and then we'll talk about the finished product. All right, so here we are. The black gloves are great for giving a nice background so you can really see the spider well, so that's cool. I usually hang it butt side up. I don't really know why, but that's just because like you know, if we were being realistic, the spider would be like going down its web, like the chain is the web, so it's going down, so butt in the air. But do you know, that's definitely not the way it has to be. And here's my 4mm chain. And I'm gonna do 12 inches. That's what I do for most of my Suncatcher chains. And I'm gonna get my Big Daddy nippers. And then I like Beadnova jump rings. They're on Amazon and they are making a mess at this moment. And they are really strong. And they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. You know, like they're priced fairly for how good they are. And so this is an 8mm or gauge. Is it millimeter or gauge? I think it's millimeter. Millimeter, yes, 8mm jump ring. What am I talking about? And then I'm gonna take it, bring it back together and go back and forth a few times. That is gonna harden the metal and make it stay. So just do a little back and forth, and then your jump ring should look so closed that you can barely see where the part that it comes apart on is. That's how you know it's gonna be nice and secure. So don't mess around with jump rings. Those things need to be good and solid, or your work will come apart. And I'm just saw a little thing I didn't like there. Okay, sure. I used to do my Suncatchers completely flat, but now I do 2 of the legs a little bit up here and then 2 of the legs a little back there. I don't know. I think it just, that 3D-ness of it just looks a little cool, a little something different. And then we're gonna put some crystals on the end. Since I did a crystal clear one of these, I'm just gonna do a big crystal clear, just slightly bigger one hanging down. You know, I think any crystal would look fine. But since we've already done some crystal clear, let's just keep up with it. Does it have to be called crystal clear? I don't know, but that's what I call it. And my glove broke again. Just, you know, I'm gonna go through a million of these trying to do it. Well, hopefully my eczema just clears up and the next video I make, you can see my real hands. But I'm saving you from that view today. So believe me, you're better off for it. All right, so get our 8mm jump rings again, and I'm gonna grab it on either side, twist it open. Don't pull it apart, twist it open. And then I'm gonna loop one of these guys through one of these guys. These are just clear octagon crystals just to give it a little more. Same thing, go back and forth a little bit, make sure it's even. And then do it on this guy. Actually, I take that back. Actually, I take all of it back. Okay, so you could try to just do the jump ring essentially just immediately attached here, but what I'm gonna do is put a jump ring through this, close it back up. You could use a bail clip for this too. Maybe I'll grab one and show you what I mean by that. Bail clips are like this kind of, so this would attach here if you couldn't get a jump ring through it. Some crystals are weird shaped and a jump ring won't go through and be secure, so that's when I'd use a bail clip like this. So I would just open this up and attach it through to there, and then it would hang like that. But this one, a jump ring can go through. So I actually couldn't tell you why, but if a jump ring works, I do a jump ring. The only time I do a bail clip is if I just can't do a jump ring. But some people do bail clips a lot because they're like, they just look prettier and, you know, kind of nice. So this has a closed jump ring on it. And then I'm going to put a jump ring through that attaches to this guy. And I'll show you what that looks like. Go back and forth. There we go. So jump ring to jump ring. That's how that works for that. And then one more jump ring to attach it to the end of our little spider. So once again, take the jump ring, twist, drop it a few times, you know, make as much noise as you can, be silly. And then I'm gonna loop it right through that loop. Well, I guess I'm not looping it, I'm putting it through that loop and then through that loop. And now it's on there. So then we're gonna go back and do our little back and forth twisties. Bink, 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 bink. Make sure it's nice and together. And then there we have. Almost forgot to show you how to put on the clip to hang it by. So I've got my 12 inches of 4mm chain, and then I use these little clips that are completely closed here, so I know it'll stay really secure. Some of them are like this, where it goes over, but it's open. I want one end to be completely closed, so I know damn well that thing ain't going nowhere. And I'm gonna use 10mm jump rings for this part. The reason why I use 10 for my clips is they're the strongest jump rings, and this is going to be holding all the weight of everything, of this crystal, of this crystal, of the beads, of that, you know. So I just think that the 10 is a better way to ensure it's nice and sturdy. All right, so that's how you do the crystal butt spider. And I did a clear crystal, but you can do an AB coated crystal. You can do crystals of different shapes, you know, like this one is, you know, triangularly. That's real. That's a word. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, look at this cutie. I love it. And the crystal butt just makes it. And it also means I can charge a little bit more for it whenever I sell it. So that's a win-win. All right, last glances. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I'll try to follow up on a new tutorial not 3 months down the road. But anyway, thanks. Leave comments. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, I also have a group on Facebook for beaded spiders. So if you're interested in seeing other people's beaded spiders and my work and stuff like that, get on Facebook and just search beaded spiders and you'll see it. It's called Beaded Spiders and Other Unique Creatures. So people do octopus and scorpions and all sorts of really cool stuff. It's a great group. And it's mine. So I would like to share that with you. All right. Bye, y'all.